Hey A&Pers, this is Dr. Jones checking in. This is A&P 1, Lab 2, Video 14. For me, this is page 21, and we are talking about the pelvis, which is also called the pelvic girdle. So there are 3 bones that make up the pelvis. Here's one of them separate. This is called the coxal bone. So os coxa. If you're talking about both of them, then they're ossa coxae. So this is a coxal bone. It is 3 bones fused together. So if you look in your book at figure 15.7, where it's got the coxal bone separated by color into the 3 bones that make it up. The main portion here is the ilium. The part that you sit on is your ischium, and the part in the front, right here, this part, is the pubis. So that's the pubis. And they all come together laterally to make the acetabulum, which you can see here. The acetabulum is where the head of the femur articulates, and an articulation is a joint. So this is a ball and socket joint, and you can see this has a much bigger socket than the shoulder had. The shoulder has more mobility. The hip joint has more stability. You can have one or the other, mobility or stability. Shoulder has mobility. The hip has stability, as you can see by this much bigger socket. This little cup that holds the ball holds it much more. It's much sturdier. Let me grab a femur. Here's the head of the femur, head and neck, and you can see how that articulates there. And you kick, and you do the can-can. Which is probably funnier when you can see the whole thing. So let's talk really quickly about how to spell acetabulum, because if you're taking this online and you miss a letter, it's wrong. So I always think ace. I don't spell ace, but I think ace. And then tab, and then u, and lum. So acetabulum, ace like it's the best, tab like the soda, and then u, lum like it's Latin. Acetabulum, ace, tab, u, lum, acetabulum. Which somehow in my head is to the same tune as It's My Prerogative. Acetabulum. So, there you go. Okay, so what else do we need to know? We need to know that on the ilium, this part is the iliac crest. Oh, crest. A crest is a line, kind of like a line. It's this part. The iliac crests are the, I call them the shelves. The shelves where you hold the baby. And the greater sciatic notch is this big notch here. It's for the sciatic nerve. When the sciatic nerve is irritated, it's called sciatica. And you can feel that down your leg, which is terrible. And then you have the auricular surface. Auricular surface is this part right here. It's kind of shaped like a boomerang right here. It's just like literally the part that my thumb is on. That kind of see it right there. And the auricular surface, and aural means ear, like if you learn by hearing, you're an aural learner, is part of the articular surface, and articulation is a joint, and that's where it meets with the sacrum to make the sacroiliac joint. Okay, so sacrum, ilium, sacroiliac joint. So how we would ask that in person is put a pipe cleaner in it. So the crack with the pipe cleaner in it is the sacroiliac joint. Now please remember, if there's not 2 bones together, there's not a joint. See, there's a sacrum, that's an articular surface, that's a joint surface, but there's no joint there because it's just one bone by itself. This is the ilium, the articular surface, and this part of it is the auricular surface. but it's not a joint, it's a joint surface. To make a joint in the body, you need two bones together, okay? So this is the sacroiliac joint, sacrum, ilium, sacroiliac joint. It's falling. Okay, I don't have enough hands. There you go. Sacroiliac joint with pipe cleaner in it. So that whole crack there, sacroiliac joint. And you know when that sacroiliac joint hurts, right? If it's off, tensioned, stressed, you will know about it. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Now the ischium, and here's my trick for how to tell the ischium for the pubis. Well, to me, they look completely different, but I've been staring at these things for years, and you've been staring at them for about 2 minutes. So here's my trick. The greater sciatic notch is in the ilium. The lesser sciatic notch is right next to the greater sciatic notch. That's a muscle attachment site, of course. Greater sciatic notch is in the ilium. The lesser sciatic notch, which is right next to it, is in the ischium. So this right here is your ischium with the lesser sciatic notch. The ischial tuberosity is your butt bone. That's literally what you're sitting on right now. You know anybody that has sharp butt bones? Anybody that sits on your lap and those like dig into your leg? Those are the ischial tuberosities that you were feeling. They have sharp ischial tuberosities. Okay, and then this front part is the pubis. The two pubic bones come together at a fibrocartilaginous joint. This is sometimes called the pubic bone. Pregnancy books, they call it pubic bone pain. It is not a bone, it is two pubic bones that come together at a fibrocartilaginous joint, which we'll get to. So, also, this is the pubic symphysis. And I'll put a pipe cleaner on that. There you go. Name the joint with a red pipe cleaner on it, pubic symphysis. And the English here is pubic symphysis. The Latin for this is symphysis pubis, P-U-B-I-S, which means exactly the same thing. So, and then we also need to name the obturator foramen, which is this hole right here. Is the obturator foramen, and there's nerves and muscles that go through this hole. So how do we spell obturator foramen? Well, foramen, hopefully you can spell. Actually, let's cover that too. So obturator, we've got OB like the tampons, A, tor. So obturator, OB like the tampons, A, tor, obturator, and then foramen is for A, singular, men, plural. For A, singular, men, plural, which is grammatically incorrect, and the grammatical incorrectness of it helps me remember. Obturator, T-U-R-A-T-O-R, like we've got lots of vowels in there. Obturator, for A, men. Okay, now if you misspell foramen, you're going to miss a lot on this lab test because there are lots of foramina, and you don't need the plural on that. The singular is fine. But foramina is F-O-R-A-M-I-N-A, but that is not typed in as a correct answer on anywhere on the lab test, okay? That's just for your own personal edification, your knowledge. Acetabulum and obturator foramen. Okay, like the tampons. Oh, I'm sorry, did I forget? Was I supposed to pretend that tampons are gross and that natural body processes are disgusting and shameful and we shouldn't talk about them? Oh, I entirely forgot to pretend that. No apologies. Okay, so that covers page 21, except for the part where when you put the three bones together with two sacroiliac joints and one pubic symphysis, you have a pelvis. So this is the bony pelvis. It's these three bones together, which is interesting because each coxal bone is actually three bones permanently fused together, but that's beside the point. Okay, so pelvic girdle with the sacrum makes a pelvis. The two coxal bones and the sacrum. Excellent. So that's all of page 21. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. It's good to virtually see you here. This has been A&P 1, Lab Test 2, Video 14, the pelvis. Dr. J out.